listen to the Jeopardy thing, huh?
All right, the time is 7:30. I'll call this regular business and public hearing of the mayor and council to order. Today is Monday, October 26, 2015. All members of the mayor and council are present. Tonight for our invocation, we have Pastor Elijah Collins Jr. from New Jerusalem Baptist Church to lead us in the invocation. Pastor Collins.
Good evening. Let us pray. Father, most gracious God, we come now. And God, we come according to your word. Your word in Romans, the 13th chapter, verse 1 tells us that everyone should submit to governing authorities, for all authorities come of you. And everyone in position, God, you declare you've placed them there. So therefore, Father, we shall submit ourselves to the police, and to the sheriff, and to the judge, and to the president, to the vice president. We shall submit ourselves, O God, to the authorities of the council members, and even the mayor. And God, we ask that you speak this evening, God, through us and to us, that you give us clarity, that you give us patience, that you give us peace, that your will shall be done in this great city, that your people, O God, shall prosper, that lives do matter. And God, that we shall give you praise in all things. We ask you to meet us here this evening, and you'll speak to our hearts. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Announcements. Absentee voting is still going on. It will continue until this Friday, October 30th. You can vote at the upstairs conference room from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. here at City Hall. On October 27th, we'll have a logic and accuracy testing of election voting machine upstairs in the conference room at 6 p.m. October 27th's Planning Commission meeting has been canceled. It's been rescheduled for October 29th. It will be a special called meeting, 6:30 p.m. work session and 7:30 p.m. meeting here at City Hall. City elections will be held on November 3rd. This will be for a general election, and voting hours will be from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. here at City Hall. On November 6th, we'll have a blood drive in the community room from 1:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. To learn more about blood donation opportunities, visit www.redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. On November 8th, you can watch a rebroadcast of this council meeting on Comcast Channel 25 at 6:30. The next regular scheduled council meeting will be November 9th, a 6:30 p.m. work session in the conference room and a 7:30 p.m. meeting here at City Hall. And on November 10th, the Board of Appeals will meet at 7 p.m. They'll have a work session at 7:30 p.m. They'll have their regular meeting here at City Hall. And Veterans Day is November 11th. Is City closed for Veterans Day, Mr. Sanders? No. That's not Mr. Tyler. But the city offices will be open on November 11th. That now brings us to our Pledge of the Flag, and we are honored to have the South Gwinnett High School Junior ROTC with us tonight under the leadership of Sergeant Smith. To lead us in tonight's pledge. We have no ceremonial matters tonight. That brings us to our minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for the September 14th, 2015 regular meeting?
Motion to approve the minutes of the September 14th Business and Public Hearing Meeting.
Is there a second? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That's 5 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The minutes stand approved. Is there a motion to approve the September 28, 2015 regular minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes of the September 28th, 2015 Business and Public Hearing Meeting.
There's a motion by Councilman Emmanuel. Is there a second? Second by Councilwoman Kraus. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That's 5 in favor. All those opposed, that's 0 opposed. The minutes stand approved. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the October 12, 2015 regular meeting?
Motion to approve the minutes of the October 12th Business and Public Hearing Meeting.
There's a motion by Councilman Emmanuel. Is there a second? Second by Councilwoman Kraus. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That's 5 in favor. All those opposed, that's 0 opposed. The minutes stand approved. Tonight we have no invited guests. That brings us to our committee and department reports. For the Board of Appeals, we have Ms. Marilyn Sweeney here in place of Marcy Ferris.
On October 13th, the Board of Appeals met to hear 3 applications. The first, BOA 15-11, requested a variance for an event facility in the Wisteria Shopping Center. The Board approved unanimously. The second, BOA 1512, requested a variance for a sign setback at a medical building. The Board approved unanimously. And the third and final request, BOA 1513, was for sign setback for a gas and convenience store in a strip center. It was approved unanimously.
Questions for Ms. Sweeney? Thank you. That brings us to our stat report. Ms. McAloon.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Our last stat board meeting was held on October 19th. We are getting ready to launch a new web ad campaign that will be discussed at our next Commerce Club meeting that will be held on November 10th at City Hall in the community room at noon. We ask that everybody join us to find out more information about the web ad program and our new membership brochure. Our stat board elections will also be held on November the 10th. 2 board seats will be voted on by eligible members of Snellville Tourism and Trade. We encourage all eligible members to vote. We also have 2 board seats that will be appointed by Mayor and Council this evening, and 1 board seat that will be appointed by the DDA. Even though our fall festival was canceled and mentioned by Councilman Emmanuel during the last council meeting, I would be remiss if I did not include this in my report. It was sad to have canceled such a large event that so much time and money was put into, but sometimes we cannot control Mother Nature. I want to in particular thank our wonderful Public Works Department for always going the extra mile and making our city look great. They planted flowers in the big pots by the back door at City Hall. Craig said, "I just want this to look nice for the fall festival." You know, people might get paid to do their jobs, but they don't get paid to care. And I'll tell you, I've got to hand it to Gay Johnson and Craig Barton and that whole team at Public Works. They do an amazing job for this city. So thank you very much to them. I also want to thank all those who signed up to volunteer and all our vendors, exhibitors, police officers who signed up to work the event and could not because of the weather. Thank you all again for all you do, your patience and understanding on October 10th. However, you will have another chance to volunteer and help out again on November 28th at our Christmas tree lighting and lighted parade. The parade will start at 5:30. The tree lighting will be at 7, and the festivities will go until 9 p.m. And of course, there'll be visits with Santa from 7 to 9. On another note, it has been brought to my attention that STAT has been put on official notice that our event signs will be removed from their current locations in the city. It is very unfortunate, especially since our Christmas tree lighting event signs just went up. We draw a lot of people to the city because of our event signs. I hope this can be addressed with a new sign ordinance for stat event signs in the near future. Very sad. I just hope people don't think we have canceled our Christmas tree event. Any questions?
There will be no DDA report tonight, and no Parks and Rec report, and no city manager report. We have no consent agenda, and do I have a motion to amend the agenda, Ms. Pender?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add under new business, item A, approval of council board appointments to the Stat Board, Jamie Toney and Tom Morris.
Okay. Is it Morris or Moore? Morris. Thank you. There's a motion to amend the agenda. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Emmanuel. All those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. That's 5 in favor. All those opposed, that's 0 opposed. The motion stands approved. But first, we'll have old business, and we have our public hearing. This is a second reading on CUP 15-04. This is an application by Lamb Land Georgia LLC for conditional use permit to construct a 1,650 square foot building in addition to support the 4,000 square foot Express Oil and Change Service Center located at 1858 Scenic Highway. Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. I'll keep it brief. It's a pretty simple case request. Once again, CUP 1504, located on Scenic Highway adjacent to Van Adams Jewelry and Barron's Promenade. This business has been in existence for quite some time, even before our requirements for a conditional use permit. That's why they're here. They're also requesting an additional 1,650 square feet of 3 bays in the rear of the property and an access drive into the private drive on the easterly portion of the property. We went through the ordinances and they comply with the requirements for the conditional use permit. We recommend approval with the staff recommendations found in the staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Any questions of Mr. Thompson? Thank you. Is the applicant present? Yes. Would you like to address the council? You don't have to. It's up to you. You have 5 minutes. You can reserve it. Okay. This is on for a public hearing. If anyone would like to speak for or against this application, now is your time. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record. No one? I will close the public hearing portion of this agenda item and open it up for a motion from council.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve CUP 15-04 with the 7 conditions recommended by the Planning and Development and the Planning Commission.
There is a motion by Councilman Kraus. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Emmanuel. Additional discussion of council. And I'm sorry, the applicant, can you give me your name for the record? David Okay. And are you familiar with the 7 conditions? Are you in agreement with the conditions? Okay. With that, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. That's 5 in favor. All those opposed, that's 0 opposed. The motion stands approved. If we can stand at ease for just a moment while I ask the All right, that brings us to our new business. We have a nomination for Jamie Toney and Tom Morse to the Snellville Tourism and Trade Board. All those in favor of the nomination signify by raising your right hand. That's 5 in favor. All those opposed, that's 0 opposed. The nomination stands approved. And that brings us then to our council reports. Ms. Bender.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Just a couple of things. I wanted to congratulate YSS Athletics. Tori Rose's business is a cut and sew manufacturer. They make and manufacture, they design and manufacture sporting apparel. The business has moved. They've been just outside the city limits for a long time, and in the last month they've moved inside the city limits, so we're proud to have them here and calling Snellville home. And just to give you a little idea of just some of the phenomenal things that they do here in Snellville, any New Balance baseball and softball uniforms that you see with the New Balance logo on them are made and manufactured right here in the city of Snellville. So they really do. They did a little fashion show at their grand opening, and the work that they do, the products they put out are really phenomenal. Very impressed. And I'm still waiting for my custom sewn and designed workout wear from Tori. I also wanted to give a shout out to Councilmember Diane Krause. This is her last meeting here tonight. It's very sad to see her go. I have enjoyed working with her on council the last 2 years. She really has worked hard in her 4-year term and has really brought a lot of good things to this city. I appreciate her and her efforts in her 4-year term, and wish her well. Now to move on to a little less pleasant, but nevertheless, I feel at this point something needs to be said. And I'm going back for just a moment to July 9th, when Mayor Kelly Couts in her leadership class stated the Snellville Veterans Memorial was under investigation. Not knowing of any such investigations, I made the following statement at the July 13th City Council meeting during my council report, and I'm quoting what I said. I'm the Secretary-Treasurer of the Snellville Community Foundation, Inc., which is the nonprofit organization that raised the funds and built the memorial. I, nor any other members on the board or committee, are aware of any such investigations for any reason. I also asked the mayor during my comment to speak with me immediately after that night's meeting regarding the nature of the investigation she mentioned. As I have all the records, I'm the one that can resolve any issues or questions that are out there. I remained after the meeting waiting for the mayor to speak with me. When she turned to me, she stated, "I have nothing to say to you without my lawyer and your lawyer present." That was the end of the conversation. To this day, neither Kelly Couts nor any other person has made an inquiry of me, Tom Witz, architect Chad Smith, or engineer Bob McCann regarding any issue or concerns with the memorial and its funding. Now I've heard that former Councilman Warren Auld is allegedly expressing concerns regarding the handling of the memorial. As I stated in the July 13th meeting, I am not aware of any such investigations, issues, or concerns about the memorial. If Mr. Auld truly has questions or knows someone who does, I am publicly asking him to contact me directly so that we may get those concerns alleviated as soon as possible. The fact that these alleged questions keep coming up and within the same group of people tells me one of two things. Number one, there truly are questions and someone does not know who to address them to. I'm advising everyone tonight the answer to that question is me. If you have a question, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to go over anything with you. Or there truly are no questions, and these people realize the facts will not fit their agenda, which I perceive is to create doubt during an election. I will go on to say that the 30-plus open records requests filed on the city by Jarrett Blankenship before and during the construction of the memorial were all appropriately answered and responded to. The requests for information Mr. Blankenship made to the memorial were all responded publicly in a presentation to the Memorial Committee made before the City Council, before the project plans were finalized. I will state here again, as I did 3 months ago, I have all the records and will be happy to meet with anyone who would like to go over them. Should no one come forward, I would expect my assurances tonight will have alleviated all the concerns of these few people. I must say I am disheartened by the continued and repeated actions of a few to undermine a world-class project that is an incredible tribute to our servicemen and women and a jewel for this city. The people who worked so hard on this project, those who dedicated countless hours and energy, those who worked through the challenges that were set before us, they are the ones whose integrity is questioned. They are the ones who are diminished in the public's eye because of the doubts created by a few who cannot seem to step up and do something positive for their community. They just prefer tearing down those who do. Thank you.
I don't know, I always get the tough acts to follow. Just want to commend the Arts Commission. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't know about it. They had a new event called Art on the Green yesterday. There was a combo playing music. There were artists out there. We had food and coffee. Grayson Coffee House was there. And it was unfortunately, it had to be postponed because of the weather previously. It was lightly attended yesterday. It'll be back. And I encourage you to keep your eyes out. We're going to make sure it gets publicized much better in the future. But it was really an enjoyable afternoon. And when we get the green redone, I think it'll be even more enjoyable. So keep your eyes out on that. The Ghost Tour is another bonus that the Arts Commission is delivering to the city. I think there were probably over 150, 200 people total over 3 days. And it was a good time. The players put on a very good performance for everybody. Kids enjoyed it, adults enjoyed it. A certain witch I know enjoyed it. And I'd advise you to keep that in mind for next year as well. And just want to keep focused on all the good things that are happening here in Snellville.
Are you ready? You gonna time me, Erica? We haven't heard a poem for a while, so y'all are gonna have to hear my favorites. I said a prayer for you today. I know God must have heard. I felt the answer in my heart, although he spoke no word. I didn't ask for wealth or fame. I knew you wouldn't mind. I asked him to send treasures of a far more lasting kind. I asked that he'd be with you at the start of each new day, to grant you health and blessings and friends to share the way. I asked for happiness for you in all things great and small, but it was for his loving care I prayed the most of all. It has been an honor to serve you, citizens of Snellville, a pleasure to represent you at the many seminars, economic developments, functions, classes, and social events that I have attended in your name. Thank you for trusting me to initiate policies, ordinances, and alerts to always keep you and the city safe and protected. Thank you for allowing me to dump tons of sand in the middle of your busy street. I learned much from the challenges that I faced. I prayed for wisdom and fortitude to keep going and to make sure you were always, always first on my agenda. You have a professional staff always available to you, a staff that deserves your respect and your greatest gratitude. I will miss you, Snellville, but I'll always call you friend. Thank you.
Oh, boy, I get to follow that. All right, how's everybody? Good, 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 good. Couple things. I want to publicly thank Diane for her work, not only these past 4 years, but on a particular project that has been near and dear to her heart, and that's we affectionately call it a COOP, which is a Coalition of Operations Planning. Basically, it's a disaster plan. If we ever had, God forbid, a major disaster within the city, we would need to operate the city. And Diane has worked tirelessly on that plan, and I want to let you know that we'll continue your efforts to make that thing happen. So, tag, I'm it. So, Dave mentioned the art thing yesterday out on the green. What a cool thing that was. If you didn't make it, they had one scheduled and had a lot of folks showing up, but you know the weather didn't cooperate. We've had a couple of those recently, but they're doing a really good job. I mean, it was a cool thing to come out and do the ghost tour and stuff like that. So these folks are working hard to bring the kind of activities to our residents that I believe they want. I mean, it's indication they had over 150 show and walk through this thing. We just got to get the word out. We got to share. We got to tap people on the shoulder. We got to say, hey, it was a cool thing up at City Hall the other day with the ghost tour. So, you know, we just got to continue that kind of thing. On a little more serious note, y'all know I'm sometimes use videos and audios and things like that in my council comments. Tonight's a little tough one, and you'll understand hopefully when it's all said and done. The current state of affairs, not only in our city but just in general. A couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to, I hate to say, enjoy. But
Excuse me for a minute, Mr. Howard, if we can stand at ease, I have a question for the city attorney and the parliamentarian.
we'll see. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure what that was all about, but Mr. City Attorney Chris, is there anything I need to be aware of with regard to or actions that I'm okay?
In any situation like this, if it's called out of order, then it's done unless there's an appeal, or if there's any complaint and somebody calls upon order, then you just go ahead and listen.
Okay, cool, good deal. Anyway, as I was saying, something that affected me greatly a couple of years ago, and I've been, been able to kind of relive it a number of different times and ways, and please forgive me, as I go through this, because in the end, I think you'll see it is certainly very, it involves people in this room. So I want you to take just a minute. Erica's got this to put up, and be very quiet. Watch this, and at the end, I'll explain just a little bit further, okay? Just indulge me just a second. Two years ago, I had the opportunity to attend an end-of-watch service for one of our law enforcement personnel. It affected me greatly. It was something that I never, ever want to attend again. But unfortunately, it seems like every week, almost every day, someone in our law enforcement community loses their life out busting their butts for us. Roy, Wayne, thank you and all your men and women for your service. So when you wonder why I'm pro-law enforcement, pro-public safety, have a soft spot in my heart for them. Wear their shield. Go visit them, have friends. Be active with our law enforcement personnel. You've just experienced the thing that I got to experience 2 years ago. And I never want anybody in this audience to have to do that. Have to attend the funeral of an officer that has died in the line of duty. If you remember a few weeks back, I made a few posts and comments. This hurts. And it should hurt our community. Even this is New Jersey. It should hurt us all. Because these men and women are out there every day. And the only thing they want to do is go home. New York recently. I mean, it's every day. When our law enforcement personnel are out there, and I know most of you do, just thank them for what they do. You know, if you want to be upset because you speeded and got a ticket, then fine, be upset. But thank these men and women for what they do. I have a lot of friends in law enforcement, all the way up the food chain. And I don't know how to approach when we lose one. It's a private struggle that I have. So when I support our law enforcement, when I do things to do and support and actively engage our law enforcement community, I do it because it's what I want to do. So I wanted everybody to hear that. I'm sorry if it got the tissues out. It does for me every time. Thank you for the opportunity to spend those few minutes with you. I appreciate it. I thank each of you in this room for the opportunity to serve this city. And I wish nothing but the best for all of you and safe travels home. And hey, shop local.
The council reports now for the mayor's report. I also want to congratulate Tori Rhodes for coming finally into the city of Snellville at the ribbon cutting. I thank staff, and I wanted to echo that tonight. Tori was always very involved in our city even before she officially moved into our city, and it was because of the persistence of our staff that they were able to finally find her a location big enough to come into the city. So we're happy to have her officially part of the Snellville family. I was so excited. They considered it an honor for the city to attend, but it was an honor for me to attend. Brookwood High School last Thursday night was invited by the Queen's representative. The Lord Baron of Westminster came all the way from London to invite Brookwood High School to participate in the London New Year's Day parade. And this is something that the band doesn't apply for. It's something that the organization that puts on the parade takes notice, and they invite 20 countries every year to come and participate in this parade. They don't have marching bands in London, which I didn't realize, but they don't have American football, so they don't have marching bands. And so that's the highlight of the parade, is the marching bands. And it was a great time to be there with the kids performing, and then to just see their excitement in their faces when the Lord Baron and his entourage drove up. It really was a fabulous evening. So I want to thank the band for including me in that, and for the community for coming out to support one of our local high schools. It also was an honor the week before to be the Grand Marshal, along with Cosmo, of the South Gwinnett High School Homecoming Parade. It's always a fun event, and they always have a ton of kids that come out and participate in that. It was a beautiful day for a parade. It is election time here in the city of Snellville, so if you haven't already, I encourage you to come out and vote. These city elections are not the only election that's going on. You have to come here to City Hall to vote in the city election, but we also have a general election at your normal polling place for the e-SPLOST or the education SPLOST. So you need to go to both your polling place and then come here to City Hall and vote on November 3rd if you don't take advantage of early voting. I hope everyone has a safe Halloween on Saturday. And finally, this too may be my last meeting, so I want to thank my husband and my parents for putting up with the craziness for the past 4 years. I know it hasn't always been easy, especially when I come home after some of these council meetings, so I appreciate all of y'all being there for your continued support. And with that, I will open it up to public comment. We have a Melvin Thomas that has signed up for public comment. Did he step out? Okay. So anyone else that would like to have public comment, come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Marilyn Swinney, excuse me, 1832 Glenwood Lane, Snellville. Bobby, in support of the police, I'm on the Homeowners Association Board for Woodbury, and we have voted to put a great big blue bow at our entrance to the subdivision in support, and it would be nice if others do the same. Thank you.
Tricia Rollins, 2088 Harbor Oaks Drive. I'm speaking tonight as chair of the SNAP, the Snellville Neighborhood Alert Program. I'd just like to publicly thank Diane, Councilwoman Kraus, for all her support of SNAP. And thank you for joining our board, giving us support and direction when we needed it to start our bylaws and get started. I came to you asking for help with solicitors, the door-to-door solicitation in the neighborhoods. I saw it as a problem, and you jumped on it, and I appreciate that. You enlisted Councilman Dave Emanuel and former attorney Tony Powell and the chief and Linda Nixon, also Officer Linda Nixon. But it was you that listened to a resident and to the neighborhoods, and when there was a problem, you jumped on board and were ready to fight for us, and I appreciate that. We will feel safer in our neighborhoods because of you. Thank you.
Why can't I? Hey. All right. Rob Knox, 3142 Brooks Drive, Snellville, Georgia. I just want to say I'm very proud of you and all your hard work. So, and I love you. All right.
Any additional public comment? Seeing none, Mr. Thomas, step back in. It is 8:14 and we are adjourned. Good evening. Graham, did you have a public comment? I'm sorry. Did you have public comment, Ms. Graham?
Yes, I did.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Ida Graham, 2085 Glenhurst Drive, Snellville, Georgia. Carrington subdivision, full disclosure, I'm no longer on the board. Along those same lines, I am a planning commissioner, and this has nothing to do with my report tonight. The last time I was here, I spoke and was rather teased about talking about the Missouri Compromise and the 2/3, you know, that some of our people were counted and how unfair it was. And I was stopped by a gentleman on the way out who had a little girl about this high, and his comment was, "I want my daughter to grow up to be like you." I was so embarrassed, so proud, so ashamed, so whatever. But the point he was trying to make was, and this is what he said to me, "I am a black man. I want my daughter to have the ability to stand up and speak for herself and for her community as you have done tonight." It made me feel very humble. Now, at that time, I was told that I was actually thanking the city because I don't have relatives here. I don't owe anyone anything. I am here because of love for my grandchildren that I wanted to be near. Snellville, and I mentioned it in the last speech, we kind of, when we moved here from Miami and all, it was like we jokingly called it Snellville, which was not very nice because after we got here, it was an idea. All I saw was just a rock store and some things like that. However, I have, ever since I've lived here, been very proud, not just because it got picked up as our motto, but proud of the potential, the very potential that this city has. And we can do that. We can do that if we look to the inside, each one of us, and see what is here. I have said over and over again how proud I am of the council, how proud I am of the buildings that we have, how proud I am. My husband and I took our great-grandson down to the maintenance and recycling center this past week. He's 3 going on 21, but he was so impressed that there were all of these things that could be saved. And he was saying, when he saw all the bushes and those kinds of things, and he said, "It's compost, Granny, it's compost." Okay, but what he did get to see was a city that has potential, a city that cares. Those people down there work themselves silly. You drive in, they greet you, they tell you where to put things. Our police department, I have seen over and over and over again, and I want to congratulate Bobby Howard for saying all that he did, but we have police officers that go out of their way. Over at Wendy's one night, I saw these guys. It matters not the color of their skin or their mind or their heart or whatever, but they were so frustrated their car wouldn't start. But a member of the police department of Snellville was there helping them start their car. And it's those kinds of things. We have all of this to be proud of. However, it sickens me to even think about. I want to go back, just say this. I believe it was John Wesley that wanted us to do all the good we could, all the doing you can, every time that you can, to everyone that you can. And if we could do that, I was brought up and taught by my parents that you are no better than anyone else. But always remember, you are no better. There is no one any better than you. You carry our name. You must represent us. And civility is something that has just gone out the window. And I suppose with my 15 or so years that I've lived on this earth, I can say that. But I am also very, very, very embarrassed, very discouraged, because for this city to grow, we have to keep moving forward. We do not need to be throwing things. I went to my mailbox today, and that's why my voice is quivering, other than the fact that most of you know the left vocal fold doesn't work. However, I am embarrassed to live in a city that we have this going on. The high road, those of you who have run for election since I've lived here, I have always said, take the high road. There is no excuse for this trash. Now, what we want to see is people who are concerned with our youth. We have had meetings years ago, and what do we need to do? What can we do to make Snellville better? And part of the things were that we need to do things to involve families, to involve children. I see, we have the movies, we have this, we have that. There is something going on all the time, and I see certain council people there. And of course, if you're not there, I can't see you. Now, we have the nice garden down there. That same little great-grandson wanted to know what all those rows were. And his grandfather told him, says, they have a garden. There's a garden there. They plant things. Do they live here? No. This is something. And that kind of thing, this is a 3, almost 4-year-old. But what are we saying? We're showing our city's proud. You walk in this building, and the ladies sitting behind there are so courteous, so nice, and they greet you. Every time you come through the door here, there is someone that is greeting you. You go to an office, you're greeted with respect and with dignity, and that's what we need. We don't have time for this hatred, this vile kinds of things. That's not our city. That's not the city I want to be proud of. And it is up to us as individuals, as citizens, who actually we're all entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It doesn't say we're going to be happy. But in doing so, we have to look for the other person. Now, when I was here to speak before, and I talked about it, and I thanked you for giving me the opportunity of serving on the Planning Commission, I was not appointed to the Planning Commission, and my letter said that I am not appointing you because we have a different vision. My vision has not changed. I want to see a city grow. I want to see a city that is concerned about its citizens. My parents taught me that it matters not the color of your skin, but it matters what's in your brain, and especially what's in your heart. And I don't see black, white, red, yellow. I don't see male or female. I have come up in a time when to be a woman and to go after the degrees that I have gone after, it wasn't an easy road. But I had a lot of fun doing it because I love the people around me. Diane Krause is leaving this council tonight. She was a fantastic member of the Planning Commission, kept up with everything, stayed on top of it. And I can go on and on and on. And we've got to look for the good in people. Shame on him, this says. Shame on the person. I don't know Mr. Joe Newton, but I wish I could bring suit for him having this in my mailbox to upset me so, because it belittles, it tears down the city that we're all working for, and we are citizens together. And I want to thank each of you, for doing your part to make things better. I am sick and tired of all of this little bickering, and let's bring out this, and let's sue that person, and let's do whatever. We have that memorial down there, and I was here one day when a lady came in to find out where to put her check, and she was in tears. And she was in tears because she wanted to honor a loved one. I'm taking an opportunity that I should not, but I have to because of some things that were said tonight. And that is, I was not 4 years old. I should have been more maybe. When the cab came, someone knocked on our door, and there was a public official and a cab driver. And he came to tell my mother that her son had been wounded on the battlefields in Europe. I'll never forget it because he was my big brother, but he was also like my dad. I'm the youngest in a large family. Not much later than that, I had another brother that was sneaked on age and joined the Marines, and he spent his 18th birthday on Iwo Jima. So my family has contributed, they have been involved in, we have seen, and we have felt. But that memorial to that lady meant so much to me, and I was so proud to be a part of it. And I could go on for hours and hours and hours and talk about the good things. And that's what we have to have. And all of this other stuff has got to cease. We are better than that. And all I'm asking is that everyone in this room, let's look at everybody. There are no big eyes and little U's. If you think I'm preaching to the choir or I'm just out of order, okay, I'm out of order. But I'm proud to be a citizen of Snellville, and I want us to work together. I want us to go and vote. Vote your conscience. Do not vote what somebody tells you to do. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Graham. Now the time is 8:27 and we are adjourned.